so many moving there's so many moving parts to this that some of you will get it and it'll immediately just make sense. And some of you might say, well, how did you do that? Or how do you, and I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help. So at the end of the show, at the end of the event, we'll give you my phone number, we'll give you Adam's number. And if you want to learn more, please feel free to do that. But first, so again, I don't expect you to stop what you're doing right now, quit your business, sell all your equipment and fire all your employees. Please don't do that. If I inspire you enough to do that, let's talk first before you do it. But I think it's going to be, certainly it's going to be a lot of fun. And so I'll tell you real quick about my background. I've owned my business since I was, just like your story, probably, since I was a kid, 11 years old, a lawnmower and the whole 9 yards. And I'm not going to get too far into that, but I've done everything.
Are you on a bike or something? Way to the office?
There's somebody.
Yep.
If there,
I muted
so
him.
there's, okay, that's cool. So I've done everything. I've done hundreds of thousands of square foot of hardscaping. I know how to do irrigation. There's nothing in the landscape, interior or exterior, that I don't know how to do, that I haven't done in my career. I think that's going to be really, really important. That's a big key to being able to do this. If you are not yet, if you don't know how to do everything, that's what I do. Is when I do in my courses, with people that I do consult with, I teach them individually of how to be better at each individual piece of the construction business of the landscape design and build. So just there's certain things that you need to know, but I do irrigation, lighting. These are all things that I believe I'm very good at, and I know I can answer just about any question that has to do with it. If not, I got good resources, which is really cool too. So that's going to be a very big piece of this. So the best thing about it, and we're not going to go on too long because I know you guys are busy, and I want to make sure that we get through this. But here are simple benefits that you're going to experience with this. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money without spending a lot of money. Like we always say, you have to spend more to make more. Well, guess what? I'm here to prove that that's not true. It's going to be really cool. You're not going to be stressed. You're going to be able to set your own schedule. Look, here it is at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I've already gotten all the stuff that I've done, and I have the rest of the day to myself. And again, I can move on to doing other things, which is great. So I want you to be able to do that. You'll enjoy more free time. You'll build more friendships, and with people that are important, that people that are like-minded. We tend to stay away from people that are like-minded because we fear that they're our competition. I'm going to prove to you that nobody is your competition in this business. You need them to help you build a better business. You're going to learn more about the industry, and you're going to be able to, and we want to help you. Then you're going to be able to give back and actually help the community and show you that you're going to have time to do all of that. Okay. Again, if anybody has any questions along the way, please feel free to put it in the chat, and Adam will read them out to me, and we'll stop it. If I'm moving too fast, if we want me to slow down, you let me know as well. Okay. So what's important is about this business model. And a lot of people say, well, Darren, you're just a GC. Well, we're not just a GC, really. What a GC does is a GC takes a drawing, and he goes and he sends bids out to other people to find the best price so that they can get a job done, and then they make a certain amount of money. This is a whole different animal. It really is. And it's actually something that's very much desired in the business. I mean, I'm talking to a lot of my clients. Clients want someone that they can work with from the very beginning, meaning the design aspect, all the way through, and someone that they can rely on, that they know that this, whatever they want in their mind is getting the message, the same message is getting sent to this one person, and he's letting it all happen. If I was a GC and I was working with an architect, that's another middleman. I'd be just another middleman. We are the key relationship for the client, and we're very much needed by the client. I know a lot of you guys will say, yeah, how many times has a client, even Adam, how many times have a client say to you, do you do everything, or is there something that you don't do? I really want someone to do it all for me, right, Adam? Yeah. So that's really important. So we're not GCs. We're really just, but we are focusing on that relationship. And the number one priority here, and I know you guys would, a lot of people give me pushback and say, well, my employees are more important. I got to take care of my employees. I got to make sure that they're, well, for me, my clients are the most important thing. And I know, and the reason why, money. They're the ones who's paying me. My employees aren't paying me. The guys that work for me aren't paying me. There's the vendors aren't paying me. My clients are paying me. So they're the most important, and I got to treat them like that. We're going to build multiple relationships, and it's not going to just be clients. It's going to be those people that I said you think that they're your competition. They're not. There could be your friend. There, you might in this business you might not do pavers, or you might not have guys that do, but you might build somebody that does pavers only, because that's going to be part of this landscape design business. You know, someone that does a pool, someone that does irrigation or lighting, because that's all the things. Remember, your client wants all that done, and they want one person to be able to handle all that and know what they're doing. Because, and even though sometimes we run into clients that think, well, I'll just hire this guy, I'll hire that guy. And later on this presentation, I'll tell you why they don't want to do that. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to install pavers. They don't know how to do lighting. So how are they going to manage that? They need you to be that person. So you have to know all facets of your business. That's so important. And we can get there. If you don't know it, don't feel like, oh, I can't do it. Don't have experience. We can get you there. And again, I tell you, with my consultations, we can get you there. I can get you there so you can feel confident about it. Making yourself available is essential to your clients. You have to always be available for them. You know, I did a show on Turf's Up Radio a week ago with the Weekend Review, and I was looking for some funny things to talk about. And there was a guy that actually was trying to call or what they call crank call landscapers. He wanted to crank call them, and he couldn't get a hold of anybody. Nobody answered the phone. I'm like, that's insane. You know how much business you're missing? You don't answer the phone. So no one cares. They're not going to try to keep calling you over and over again. They're going to go to the next guy. So you need to be available. You're earning that client. That's going to help you earn the client's business. Learn as much as you can along the way. Teach what, and by the way, the more you know, even if you only know a couple things, bring some people in and help them along. That's going to help build those relationships. Teach them what you know. And volunteer where you can, you know, help out wherever you can. Believe me, you're going to have that time to help. And that's what's great. When you have time, when you give more, you're going to be getting a lot more. So you're going to have so much free time to be able to do that. Again, so the more you know, the more valuable you are to your clients, like we were talking about. What is your value? And I put myself on this is what I do, is I say, I know that I'm at least worth $150 an hour just for me to do anything in this business. If I wanted to drive to a client, I'm $150 an hour. I play with that. Sometimes you can't get paid for visiting a client, but you can see, you can start to log down. And we talk about this during our consultations. We log down how much time we would have what would be a billable time. Going to a client takes you half an hour to get there. Spending an hour with them consulting about a job. That's another, you know, an hour, $150, another half an hour of coming back. So I just wasted $300. I look at it that way. So there's some times I have to think about what I'm doing, who am I visiting, and what's really the value in me visiting these people. So to the clients, you always want to let them know what you know, who do you know? You know me, by the way. You guys are all know me. And if you ever have any questions, you can always call me and say, Darren, I got a question on this. My client's asking me, what can I know? You pick up the phone, I can answer it for you immediately, get you that answer. It's the most important thing to be able to do is give that answer back to your client. What can you offer a client that they can't do? Usually it's everything. And it's funny, I tell people, and most of the time you might run into an ex-contractor, right? You might someone that doesn't do it anymore and they know everything. It's very rare that you do. It's usually people that are accountants or lawyers or doctors or somebody else that wants work. They don't know how to put pavers in or lighting or anything like that. And I beg you guys never to let them tell you what to do. They can tell you what they want, and it's your job to tell them how it's done and that it's done properly, and you need to build that value. Okay, are we good so far, Adam?
Yes.
Everybody, I'm not moving too fast or anything.
I don't think so. And no questions so far.
Okay, good. All right, cool. There's a lot to go over, and I want to make sure that we, I don't, whatever. Okay, so how do you express your true value to your clients, And I do this all the time. I discuss what I know. I tell people my background. I've been doing this for over 40 years. I've done everything you can think of. And I tell people about my station, that we try to help out people. I tell them about all the things that I'm involved in, and the people that I know. Someone says, I want a good irrigation system. Well, I personally know Hunter and Rainbird. I know the owners of these companies. And if we run into a trouble, I know that I can pick up the phone and call them. And these are things that you can do too. You can start to, you want to surround yourself around people that can help you in your business. And that's why I say when you're building relationships, that's going to be really the most important thing. So you have those people in your back pocket. Oh, I got the right person. Let me get right back to you. I know that I can get the answer. I'm not sure, but get right back to them right away. That's really important. People love that.
Darren,
Right?
that makes me think about like Jeff Hesser. He'll come out, Jeff's from Cast Lighting, and he'll come out and help you install a job and spend the whole day with you. It's about who you know and the relationships that you make.
Absolutely, 100%. I love Jeff too. Jeff taught me everything I know about lighting. It's funny, now that he had his stroke, he starts to forget some of the stuff. He comes back to me, Darren, how did I do that? Oh, that's cool. It's just a cool it's fun. So building relationships again. So let's make friends with other contractors. I don't care if they do exactly what you do. Be friends with them. Get them, call them up, ask them, let's get some lunch and talk about business, talk some trade secret, be friends with them. I'm telling you, it works. I wish that I could show you the dynamic when we do jobs at my property. I do big jobs. We'll do, 250,000 up to $1 million projects. And sometimes I'll bring 3 different landscape companies on the same job, or 3 different paver guys. And when they get together, the dynamic is such an amazing thing where they're not competing. Oh, well, why do you have that guy on here? I could do the whole thing. No, they work together. They exchange stories, and they love coming on my jobs. They love being there. It's such a cool thing. So don't feel like, oh, I don't want these guys, they're going to compete with each other. No, you be the nucleus. You be that guy that says, let's bring together and let's have fun and do something good for our client. That's our main goal, is having our client make happy, right? Get close with your vendors as well. Don't, a lot of us get to the store, and then we get onto the desk and then we just do our orders. Make friends with them. What's your name? What's your name again? And Sally, I say, how you guys doing today? Just make friends with them and say, look, I got a lot of orders. Let's get together, bring them some donuts. You need these people to be able to expedite orders to you, right? Because you want to make sure, you want to look really good with your client. Look, I got all the right people. So make sure you're friendly with the vendors. And then most importantly, stay in touch with your old clients. Hey, is there something, I know we did the job's done. Is there something I could do for you? I'm going to be by the neighborhood. I'm going to stop by, and can I just stop by and see something? Or maybe I can trim something for you or whatever. Like something that is not going to take a lot of your time, that you can help out. And by the way, all that stuff, all those things that you'll be doing will be padded into the price of the job later on. And I'll explain that to you. It's going to be fun. That'll be fun for that. Now, here's a question that I got, Adam, all the time. How do you identify your clients? Do you just go out to any estimate? And the thing is, this is something that I also teach. I'll give you a whole list of questions to ask before you even go to a client. While you're on the phone, that very first call, you want to identify who your client is. If they don't align with your business, say no to them. Say, I'm not the right guy. And if you want to, since you have other relationships, you might have just a guy that just does pavers and all they want is a driveway. You don't want to be involved with that driveway. I don't care if it's a $50,000 driveway. You don't want any part of it. You want to give that driveway job away, because you'll be able to then, by doing everything, you give that and you give it to your guy and say, look, I got a $50,000 driveway for you. It's all yours, because he's going to be giving you jobs back. I promise, down the right. So
Darren, real quick, you mentioned the other day that not to ask the question of what is your budget. Is that correct? Or at least right away?
I'll get to there. I'll get to that. That's important. That's one of these things. For again, identify who your allies are. By the way, listen, you're going to get guys, girls, people that just don't want anything to do with you. That's fine. You're going to find people that do want to work with you, or that will get involved. Trust me, I've done this. I came from I came from New Jersey to Florida back in 2013. I had a lawn tree and shrub care company up there. I sold that, came down here and said, this is how I want to build this business, just like this. So I've done all the legwork for you guys. I just like this. I want to build this and I want to do it this way. And I ran to people that just wanted nothing to do with me. Nope, don't worry. And it's okay. That's fine. It's okay, because I knew that I would find the right people, and I did. And it didn't stop me. And I have more people now than I ever can imagine. It's just great to have the resources. All right. You want those people that you align with to understand your business model, and they have to work within your business model. You hand them your mission statement. You say, this is how I'm going to be working. Can you do this? Yes, I can. Then there we go. We're going to have a great time together. All right. You have any questions yet so far, Adam?
So far, so good.
Okay, cool. Again, get the most out of your allies. By the way, I have a landscape lighting store, and my paver guy, his name is Leo. He goes around and he gets phone calls, by the way. He's just a paver guy. So they get phone calls to do pavers, and they don't ask me to do it because it's just pavers. They want a driveway or walkway, something like that. I gave him these. I got these things really cool. I didn't even show this to you, Adam. I have a little flyer. This is the landscape lighting store flyer. And it's a job to do to do landscape lighting, and there's a little price on here. And I said to Leo, and a couple of my guys, I said, do me a favor, when you're out estimating a job, before you leave, say, do me a favor. Hey, by the way, if you want lighting, my buddy owns a landscape lighting store. Here's one. It's a little do-it-yourself project. You can do it yourself, or you can call somebody. You can call us, and we'll do it for you. He sells them. I pay him $500 for every time he sells one, and he sells at least 5 or 6 a week. So he's selling for me. And if they need landscaping work, or a full design, he tells them to call me. So here's a guy, I don't spend any money on at all, any advertising, because my guys are selling for me. So that's how you really have to get the most out of your allies and your key partners. It's really cool. And I could help you along the way with that too. All right. This is what's really cool for me. I'll tell you, I always tell people in business, I eliminate all unnecessary business expenses. And I listed a couple things, but there's really a ton of them. One thing I say is this: I'd rather just tell you what I own. I own a tape measure. That's it. I mean, I have a truck. I have a beautiful F-150. Never gets dirty, really. I don't have to pick anything up. I mean, it's a gorgeous truck. It's one of my favorites. But it doesn't get dirty. And I bought it because I have to pull up to a job in a F-150 rather than my Maserati, right? Because then even though the F-150 costs a hell of a lot more money than the Maserati, you still got to pull up in a truck. But the thing is, you can minimize your insurance plan. You're not using a lot of fuel. I mean, you don't have the equipment. You don't have to buy equipment. Your guys have the equipment. How many of you guys are sick of just maintaining all the equipment that you do every day? I know that's got to be a burden on you guys, And when I did this, I have no equipment, I have a weed whacker. I have a weed whacker. The guy, my landscaper, won't even let me use it. Because he cuts my lawn. You can't believe how much work he gives me. He cuts my lawn for free. Pretty cool. So really interesting. Adam, I can't hire you. Sorry, buddy. Can't hire you. I got somebody. It wouldn't, So moving on, and when I talk about building a client relationship, the most important thing is when to learn how to start earning the business. And I say right away, I mean, immediately. And the thing is, you have to always earn their business. Remember, they are number one. You don't need your guys, the guys that you build relationships with, trust me, it's like a magnet. They love you, and you don't need to worry about them, because you're going to be making enough money, and and the way I would teach you how you're going to get paid, that you're going to be paying these guys. They know they can come to you for work. It's going to be a magnet. So you're not going to have to worry about that relationship. It's going to be there. It's going to happen. What's important is this client relationship. You have to answer the phone all the time, as much as you can. Okay. And you'll have the free time to do that. I know a lot of you guys are out there working. I can't, I'm on the machine, or I'm doing this. You're not going to be on the machine. You're going to be free to answer the phone. So answer the phone, right? Because that's your job, is to make sure that's your number one job, is to take care of clients. Respond to the request within a reasonable amount of time. Darren, I want to get this done right here. Can you get this I want to do something. Let me get right back to you. Usually I'm back to them right away, because I don't like to put anything behind me. I like to keep everything in front of me. If I don't, I forget I'm going to lose it, or I put it on my calendar. I'm nervous. So I like to just handle it right away because I have the time to do it. When I do proposals, I make sure they're very detailed. Don't just say, well, we're going to put pavers in and they're going to be 600 square feet of pavers. Write the kind down, right? How much base you're putting down, how much, all the details that you wouldn't think a client would want to know. What you're doing is you're proving to them how valuable you are and how much you know, and that's earning business. That really is earning a lot of business. All right. Call them, get
real quick. I think with the mention of the details of what you're going to do for jobs, a lot of times industry softwares, you can literally like type that in one time and use templates to where it doesn't require a lot of work to use that verbiage every time.
That's
so
awesome.
so utilize technology to where it's not cumbersome to have to do that on a regular basis.
I'm going to get there because there's certain softwares that I use. I definitely will get there, and then I'll let you chime in on that because I know that I won't depend. I'll just tell you what I'm doing in a second. Again, this is all simple, guys. I mean, it's simple customer service. We all forget about that. We all forget about, not we all do, but a lot of us do forget about, because we're so busy working on in our business than working on it. And we need to work, we need to work on our business, and that's all that matters. Okay, here we go. This is what you wanted to do. All right. This is where, first things first. And I've talked to people and everybody say, well, I always want to know what their budget is. I'm like, all right, there's a way to go around that. I remember going to look for a car, and the first thing I did, walked in the car dealership, and the guy says to me, he says, all right, I said, well, I'm interested in this car that's on the lot. All right, well, what's your budget? It just turned me off. I mean, it would turn you guys off, I'm sure. What's your budget? How much money can I get out of you? Well, that's not what it's all about. It's about, you need to remember, we're earning their trust, we're earning their business. So we'll ask questions like this. And I would say, well, have you just, I know that this is what you want to do. Have you discussed this project with anyone else? Right? Well, not really. Or, well, are you aware of what this stuff might cost? I mean, we're going to put a new pool in, or we're going to put a walkway or a cabana up. I mean, have you even done any homework? You could be nice about it. Have you done any homework on what these things might cost? Well, some people, well, not really. I need an idea. Well, guess what? You hire the right guy, because I know I do this all the time. I'm doing a cabana right now for a fella down the street. It's an overhead structure. It's got the kitchen in it. It's got a bathroom in it. It's got everything. It's going to be about $80,000. Oh, I don't want to spend $80,000. Well, what are you thinking? Well, I was thinking more like 20. Well, you're not getting a cabana. It doesn't matter. It's not going to, for me or anybody else, no one's going to do that. So at least you start to, give them some realistic goals. And then what happens is you end up, by having this conversation back and forth, you find out what their budget is. It's simple as that. Say, well, how about if we design something for you? What do you think? So we got to a whole job at 80,000. Well, I'll tell you what, we can put some stuff in. And I know where to get a grill. We can do a nice grill over here, and we could do a small little pergola. Then we can have the landscape. How about if we can budget everything for the total $80,000? What if I did a design for you that encompassed everything for, oh yeah, 80 grand would be great. That's how you get there. You don't get there by asking, what's your budget? It's just a shocker. They don't get over that. That's a hard thing, because they remember you got to handle your clients with kid gloves from the very beginning until you've created a solid relationship. It's hard to get there in such a short time, so you really have to get there. Does that make sense, Adam?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Any questions here? Okay. Here's an easy one. Here's something that we just forget about a lot, and we talk about maintaining positive messages. I mean, how many times have you heard, well, listen, I'm going to do this way, but I know Joe landscaping down the street, they skip steps all the time. Blah, blah. You don't want to do that. You don't want to talk negatively about it. Talk about how good you are. Be professional. Talk about what you're going to do about, what you can do for them. Remember, you're trying to earn their business. You want them to look at you in the way that you want them to look at you. You want them to be positive about you. So, and you want to show them your value. Hey, I've done this, and you don't want to sound too gloaty either. You just have to ease into it. You kind of you'll get an idea of how that all works. And, that makes sense. So I don't want to stay too much on that. Here's what's really important. I think this is probably the most important thing, is first impressions. and I should have titled this first impressions, is that when people are Googling or they're on Facebook, whatever, and depending on how you're advertising your business, if you are, or if they're just finding you. And by the way, I don't do any advertising. Just want you to know that I do zero. I don't do social media. I'm not even, they kicked me off of Facebook. Someone hacked my site and kicked me off of Facebook. I don't even have Facebook anymore. If you can find me, I can't even get on anymore. Some Vietnamese person hacked me. And so I don't do any advertising at all, but people find me. And when they do, if you see my website, go check it out. And by the way, you guys are all more than welcome to steal my website. I'm steal what I do. I want my clients to know exactly who I am. I am TotalScape Design, okay? And I do everything. And my website screams that I do everything. And if you're just looking to have trees put in, you're not going to pick up the phone and call me. Will not do that. If you want everything done, you're going to call me and you're going to know. And there's facts. I have the frequently asked questions on there. Exactly what I do and how I work. Do I charge for a design? Yes. Is it important to have a design? Absolutely. Will you work without a design? Absolutely not. If the questions are there, so they can read, and if those people that are educated and know about me, it's going to be easier for me. So you got to build your identity. If you want someone to know that you do everything, make sure you tell them you do everything. And you're not going to do just one thing. You're going to do them all. And you're allowed to say that. But people might call you up. You still get some scattered phone calls about some specific things. Okay, hey, can you fix my irrigation? No, but I got my irrigation guy. Let me give you his number. Hey, Charlie, call this lady. She's got an irrigation problem. Hey, thanks, Darren. I appreciate you getting me that work. I know they'll think about me, right? So here's some red flags in a client relationship that they like to peruse over every once in a while. And there's many, and there are so many. There's so many people that these clients are getting other estimates. They say, I'm getting other estimates without a design. You're never going to, these clients have to understand when you're doing projects for me, like I'm doing, there's no way they're going to get an estimate that they can compare apples to apples. No way, because there's nothing on a piece of paper to say. It's like you go in and buying, a car, just without looking at it. Well, how can you compare one car to another car, even though that's probably easier? But how do you do that, right? So if someone's saying, well, I'm just going to get other estimates, I'm out. I just abandoned that relationship. I'm gone. I will not put one more thought into into that conversation with them anymore. I'm done. I will not, because remember, I'm $300 or I'm $150 an hour. So if I'm thinking about them for 20 minutes, I'm wasting money. So I'm done. If they want to come back, I'll say, look, here's my card. If you need me, if you want me to come back, we'll take a look at it, whatever. But usually I know that they most likely know they're going to pay me for a design before I even get to meet them in person. And again, that's something else that we go through consulting, and I'll show you how easily that is. And when they're asking for you to do too much, can you do this for me? And I had someone that said, you know what, can you do a little sketch for me for my HOA to make sure that I can do what you're doing? Sure, pay me for the design. Well, it's just a sketch. Pay me for my time. Don't let these people will waste your time. They don't care if they're not making a commitment with you. They can easily get out. They can easily get out of it, and they don't care, and they'll ghost you, and you're like, what the hell happened? So I say take the aggressive end of it and get out of it before they get out of you, right? All right. And by the way, this is an important line that I write, because you have to understand it's not that we don't align with the client. The client might not align with the way we do business, and that's it. And if they don't align with the way we do business, if they want to take over some of the job, but that's not us, then we can say no, because there's going to be there's going to be jobs out there. I want to tell you right now, I do maybe 10 to 15 jobs a year. That's it. And that's 15 is a lot for me. I don't need to. I just don't need to do that many. And because the customer I want says, here's my house. I want the entire project. And I go, now you might live in areas, by the way, I'm lucky. I live in Fort Lauderdale. There's a lot of money in this area. And when I lived in Jersey, there wasn't as much. You might have to, you could tone it down. You can take on more, but you'll be able to. And the more relationships you have, the more you'll be able to take on. And, and we could talk about that. That leads us right into how to price projects. And And Adam, I know you're a big LMN person, and LMN has done a terrific job. I know Mark Bradley, they've done an amazing job on like really breaking it down to detail about down to every little shrub or everything you do and all this. I don't do any of it that way at all. And I'm sorry. And if Mark's listening, I talk about, that's just not, I don't do it that way. I don't, and I'll tell you why, because remember, we're focused on the client. Here's the thing. If I do a job for $100,000, if it costs me $100,000 to do a job, there's no way I could charge $110,000. No way in hell can I charge, Darren, well, that's 10%. And you're not doing anything. You're not buying a shovel. You're not buying material. You're not doing, there's no freaking way I can do that. I'll tell you why, because I'm the responsible party. I'm the project manager. If something goes wrong, guess what? I can't go to the client and say, hey, client, you know what? We screwed up. I need another $5,000. No, that $5,000 comes out of my pocket. Right. And all of a sudden, where's my profit? So, and how long?
And that's actually one of the questions that Andy had typed in was what is the gross profit margin goal that you try to shoot for on your subs?
Well, I hope that this is a closed meeting, because I don't want my clients, and I'm just kidding. No, and they understand, and it happens. And so I'll tell you. So I probably go to, and you're gonna cringe probably, but I'm about 40% over cost. Now remember, that's my cost. That's our wholesale prices. It's not there. Think if they did if they went and they got these jobs, all the same jobs done with individually, I want to say, they're going to pay close to what they're paying me, and then they're running their job. I know how to buy, right? I buy, and I can get my costs. So I'm around 40 I would say between 35 and 40. Now, what's cool about that's my starting price. 20 is too close for me. 20% is too close. It's really, I screw up once. Remember, I just did a job for a lawyer. Maybe you guys know this guy. His name is Mark Eiglarsh. He's on Fox News all the time, Dr. Phil. We just did a huge job for him. And they're such nice people. We did the pool, and we did it in this color. It's called Azure. It's a really dark blue color, but we can buy it from two manufacturers. One is really blue. The other one has a little green in it. She's a real color fanatic. She says, Darren, the color is not blue of the pool. And I said, all right, I'll fix it. Cost me $3,000. My cost, which is normally to redo a pool, was about $6,500. I told my guy, I paid him $3,000 to change it. But I had the money in there to do it. So I was okay to do it. And guess what? You wait till you see this video that they did for me. It's insane. They're telling everybody to hire. I got 4 jobs from them already from that one job. It's insane. And they're not worried about the price. They're worried. They want to know if something's wrong, Darren's going to fix it. And they don't care about it.
And Darren, so Andy then asked, is that the 40%, is that like a markup, or is that a margin that you're shooting for? I'm assuming for you, it's a markup since you really have no overheads.
My only overhead is my truck, my computer that I'm talking on. There's some stuff that I have overhead, but it's nominal. But yeah, I go 40% and look at the job. Listen, I got a job about an hour from me. I'm doing it's a $350,000 job. It's a pool, landscape, and stuff like that. But I know, and I count my time. It's an hour for me to go up there, an hour back. Look, that's $300 plus I'm there, right? I'm paying myself. So you have to imagine that you're paying someone that's as valuable as you are. Remember, we talk about selling, building your business to sell it. If someone is as valuable as you are to do what you're doing. So I look at that. So I'm 40%, but I also am, once I sign that job, I'm allowed to do anything I want to make more money. In other words, if I can work harder with the vendor to save some money on certain products, I'm allowed to do that, but I'm also allowed to give back some. And I do, like this project right here. I probably, I'm going to do something special for her. I'm going to go to the paver art. And I know the guys at Paver Art, and I'm going to say, and it'll cost me about $3,000 to make a custom paver inlay in their pavement. When I'm done, I'm going to put a big B in there for Barnaby, and I'm going to put it in there. It's going to be a special surprise, and I'm going to pay for that. And I know that I'm good, and I'm going to do some extra. It gives me, by having that extra padding, gives me. Remember, we want referrals, right? it's your time to shine. I don't just take and be greedy and say, well, I just made 40,000 or, whatever that money on that. I'm going to try to put some of that back in there to really make me look good. It's like if you had an opportunity to have an open slate and say, hey, do whatever you want to do. And so give yourself something that you can say to other clients in the long run. This is who I am. This is what I do. You have a chance to keep selling yourself and keep earning other people's business. So I like to make sure that's in there. Like sometimes, if they, and they work with me because I'm the designer and I'm giving them the value. I'm not, I'm not taking advantage of them. I'm giving them the right value. At 10%, it's not the value. You're going to be stressed the entire time, making sure, I hope that my guys show up. I hope I don't have to spend any more money. And that stress gets poured right into your clients, and your clients know it and they feel it. And it's just a recipe for disaster. Make sense? Okay. So you find out what your value is, and you find out what your cost to complete the project is. And then again, you're not competing with anybody. You're not competing with anybody, with any of your landscape guys. You're earning their business from the design aspect all the way up. And that's something that we didn't even talk about, is that's what I do, is I do designs first. And I could talk to you about how I get so many done at the same time, and I'm still free to do it. So we could talk about that, another time if you guys are interested on. And then what's important is, you have to find resources to help you gain more knowledge. And again, I don't know what there's a group of got people in here. I don't know what you know. You only know what you know. And I suggest always learning. I am going to be 58 years old this year, and I'm just now, and I've had my home improvement license in Jersey, but down here in Florida, in order for me to be able to do everything, I have to get a if I want to do everything, I need a GC license. I'm studying for my GC license still. I just want to keep learning, and I want to keep moving. And I got my notary down here so I can sign papers for my clients, and you just keep doing, and you'll have more time to be able to do more like that. Join one-on-one consultants. You can find someone like Adam or me, or there's plenty of great guys out there that align with the way you want to do it. Get into peer groups somehow, listen to podcasts. Turfstop Radio's got a lot of podcasts, YouTubes. I do some for the landscape lighting store. I do some educational stuff on how to do lighting. I don't have a ton on there, but I'm going to be doing a lot more, but I'll have free time to do that. So that's really important. That's pretty much it. You want to go through some questions? And
yeah, anybody has any questions, go ahead, and I guess we'll have you unmute yourself. Hopefully this will work out okay, but unmute yourself and ask away. But one person said here, Andy said design process, construction management, relationship, and expectation management are all added value. They are.
Absolutely. 100%. Anything you can do for your client that's going to let them do something else. That's value, big time. Design is important. You have to do a design when you get into projects where you're changing the look of a backyard. You have to sell that design. You have to say, look, you and we're all sitting in the same room together. We're sitting in the same room together, but we're experiencing it's psychologically true, where we're experiencing it completely different. You might say, I want a palm tree right there. And then you go and you buy a palm. Well, that's not the color palm tree. That's not the thickness of the palm tree. You have to be specific. So a drawing really helps you in that way.
Any questions? Andy, I see you're unmuted yourself. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Have you ever done any cost plus type relationships?
So, yeah, you can do that. I mean, the funny thing is Adam just called me up today and he said, Darren, he says, what do? You ever get cash for a job? And I said, oh my God, I hate cash, man. Cash sucks because you don't know what to do with it. Because really, what does that mean? Well, I want points for everything I buy. I can write everything off, all my dinners and anything I do. So I just don't even like cash. I mean, what are you going to use it for? Tips? How many tips can you give out? This guy gave me, I did a job. The job's going to be it's probably end up being about $300,000. And I told him, I said, I want $10,000 down. And then I want 20% on every guy I bring in. And that's basically, cost plus. And he gave me cash. I'm like, oh shit, I hate it. But yeah, you can do that. I mean, Andy, you could do that. And you know what? That's a good way to enter into this type of business, right? And it kind of gets you the ideas. so you don't feel stressful like it's all, but you got to make sure that they pay you up front for the services. You don't lay any money out. I never put a dime out. I say, well, it's time for your next payment. We'll start when you give me that payment. Be sure to do that.
Darren, Chris asked, do you price the job or are the subs pricing the jobs? And if you are pricing the jobs, how do you know this, what the subs will do for that price?
Okay,
make sense?
good. Well, okay, good. That's a great question, because at first I didn't know, and I had to ask a lot. And I got like 4 paver guys that I deal with here, maybe 5. And so they're down here. It's lucky. If I told you how much I get, they charge me for square foot, you guys, I don't know where you are, different parts of the country, you'd go nuts. I'll tell you, I pay for pavers, to lay pavers down with the base, $3.75 a square foot, right? Without the pavers, right? It's insane, right? And then you buy the pavers. So I know what they're going to charge, and I have a design. My design, I know how many square feet it is, and I got to know them, and they can basically, sometimes they'll hit me with a surprise cost, but I know what I need to charge. But as far as typically, I ask them to bill it out. I have a design. I wish I had one with me. You know what a CAD drawing looks like. I'll say, I'm doing this job. And by the way, I use a photo sharing tool. I don't know if I must have missed that somewhere down the line, by the way. I want to see if I can find that, but I use a photo sharing tool that I share with all of my guys. Yeah, here it is. I share with all of my guys, so they have an idea of what the job is. I'll bring them onto the job sometimes, and I introduce them to my homeowner. This is my team. Here's my partner that he's in charge of my pavers. He's in charge of my irrigation. But that's, you let them kind of, you don't want to leave yourself open for a loss. So the more information you can get from them, the better, to answer your question.
Darren, another question. I'd like to know how you are getting your design work done. So you're doing that yourself, correct?
No.
Okay.
So I did for many years. Listen, everything you do, again, you're building relationships with other people. I can give them a plug. I have a company that you guys maybe you've heard of them, but I was doing them for many years. That's what I've done. I mean, I used to train designers. Again, you really, by the way, you should know about everything that you're I would say farming out. I don't want to say farming out, but the vendors, anything that you're giving out, anything you do for your client, you should know how to do yourself, or really have a good understanding of how to do it. So if you can design, that's great, but you can send it out, because you want to be able to relay that message. I use a company called Seas of Green. They're in South Africa. Now, I have a great relationship with them, and they're amazing. And if you want a referral, I would love, if you do use them, please let them know that I told you, because they're great people. And the thing is, they don't just do a design. I don't tell them just, here, do a design for me. I tell them how I want the design done. So really, they're my graphic artist. They're not design. We're the designer. Remember, we're collecting the information from our clients. We're not, if I just gave it to Seas of Green and say, here, design something for that, I'll come back and I'll never be right. We have to relay that message. And I have certain tools that I use to relay that message. I'll get on my computer and I'll do a to get the survey out. I have pictures, like in photo sharing. I use Company Cam. Maybe you saw that earlier. I got a text message from them, but I get a Company Cam, and what I do is I want the client to tell me what they want. They can't tell me, but they can show me. So I share my client that client photo sharing software. I tell them, upload photos of stuff that you like. Just tell me, so I have a good idea, and I can take those ideas, send them off with my ideas, and 9 times out of 10, I get the design done within a couple of days. I don't have to go back and forth. So they're great people to work with. As long as you know how to tell them what to do, you're going to be successful.
One of the things I wanted to point out, if you haven't already went to Darren's website, is, and I think this is really takes a lot of collection information off of Darren, is his clients are required to create basically an account off his website, and they are required to fill in all their information, their birthdays, all the cool stuff about them, and the pertinent information, obviously, but also upload pictures and everything. And so what he does with that data collection is Darren has access to it and the client has access to it. Am I correct, Darren? and everything is shared back and forth basically into this client portal that they created.
Yep.
So there's work on their end to get the process started, but that's his sharing tool that he uses to keep everything in line and collectively all in one place.
Yeah, so I have a form. If you go to, I created a URL so to make it easier for people if they can't, if I don't want to send them a link, I could say go to myprojectfolder.com. If you ever did a URL, go to myprojectfolder.com and you'll see the questions there. But what's the reason why I did that is because I don't have a secretary. So my clients are my secretary. So what they do is I tell them, fill this out for me. They fill out this information. That stuff, I use Zapier. That information goes straight to my QuickBooks. It opens up a QuickBooks account. It goes to my company CAM, sends them a message. Hey, here's your photo sharing. And it goes to all the other things. And by the way, it also goes to a Trello board that I share with my designer. So that's already in there. I don't have to do anything. All they do all of that work for me. They're my secretary. I need them to fill it out. And by the way, and they'll set an appointment with me too. I don't say, well, oh shoot, let me write down an appointment. They set the appointment up and it pops up on my phone and I know I have an appointment tomorrow at 12 o'clock and there's the address and I'm just going to go. I don't have to do any of that. The whole deal of this is that I want to free up as much time as I possibly can so that I can take care of my clients. That's the thing. If you're wasting your time on all these little things, what's happening is you're taking up too much time. You're not taking care of your clients.
I have a question for you, Darren. So I heard you say Trello. Is that what you use for project management software?
No, I use Trello as a workflow. Let me share. You know what I'll do here? Can you see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give you a little insight of my Trello board. Hang on a second. Let me open it up real quick and then I'll share my screen again. Give me 1 second. I use it as a workflow for my design team right now. Again, you guys can, it just works for me. Let me show you here. Let me go back into we're on Zoom, right? So let me go back. How do I get back there? Give me 1 second. How did we get back to Zoom, Adam? Oh, okay.
Can you stop sharing and then go to your Trello and then share again?
I did. I'm good. And
Okay.
now, now I'm on my Trello. You can see my Trello, right? Here's my Trello board. All right. So this is for my design right now. See, I have a couple new clients that just signed up. And what will happen is these new clients will come in and this is just for my designer. So when I'm ready to give the Seas of Greens, my designer, the project, I'll move this over. I'll take this and I'll move it over. But what's really cool about it, I can open this up and I'll do a little at Lizelle and I'll give her a little insight of what I want to do. But I also, if you can see my screen, there's you see this little star next to my Zoom?
That's Loom, isn't it?
That's Loom. I do a video of what I want to do, right? And I send it to her. I better do that if she's going to jump on that one. And then I move things along the side, right? Here's some projects that we do. Here's something really cool. Here's another landscape job that we're doing. I wonder if I can open that up. Here's a cabana. And I'll tell her design, she'll say design ready for review. And if I need more details, I'll move it back over to design modification needed. And I go all the way through until I'm done. And then she's billing. So that's how I use that Trello board. That's the only reason why I have Trello is so that just to keep her going. And it really works for me. I'm able to go all through all my clients. It's just a nice little piece.
Darren, I got a question for you about the design process. Are you selling that as designs as a fixed fee or hourly rate? And if you do hourly rate, how do you manage when a customer wants to be super involved, and just be a time waster in the design process?
Andy, I promise you, I swear to God, I do dozens of designs and I charge $1,500 because I know I can. Remember, I know my business. And I remember back in the day, I would do hand drawings myself. It would take us weeks to do that. Hand drawings, weeks. And then if they didn't like it, I had to make all these changes. So I knew we used to charge between $3,000 and $5,000 for a design. I tell people that. Now, we're going to get to the answer much quicker because you're going to tell me what you like. You're going to take that photo sharing and you're going to show me by the way, pictures tell 1,000 words. I can see whether they like modern, contemporary. They're going to be telling me before I even get started. So it's very rare that I make more than one change, and the change that I make is nominal. I charge $1,500, and it usually costs me. I'll tell you, they usually charge me about under $500 to do a design. So I'm making money on the design, and I tell people I'm going to give them back $1,000 and roll it right back. I'll just roll it right back into the price of the job, and they love that. And the reason why they love that is because now they know I'm on their side during the design process. I'm working for them. When I'm done, I'm going to give them design, and they can go and get other prices. And that's going to say, well, wait a minute, why would I go get other prices? Well, it's going to keep me honest, right? So I'm like, look, I'm going to give you a price and compare my prices to somebody else. Even if I was higher, they're going to say, wait a minute, you designed it. I want you to do the job. I'm telling you, I've never lost a job to my design ever. And
well, most likely, if it's a multifaceted project, it's going to take them forever to bid that thing out.
Yeah, nobody's they're not answering the phone anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? Yeah.
Any other questions? We got 4 or 5 more minutes.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to go back to that project management software. So I see you have that pipeline with Trello, but then as far as like each individual job, where guys are at and just all the details, ordering materials, all that stuff.
All right.
Do you have?
I have a project, Wes. Project management it's a client portal, and we call it Suite Dash. Adam, I think you took on Suite Dash too, didn't you?
We use that as our CRM, yes, for the green executive. We can send out different things. Yep.
Suite Dash is inexpensive. I can introduce you to that, and it's a client portal. It's actually something that you can actually create files in there and share them with your client, and you can hide things you don't want them to have, and it's all there for you. And then you can share that with your contractors too. You can easily share through that. It's a portal. It's called Suite Dash. Check it out. That's what I use. Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, Sweet, and it's SUITE, by the way, Suite Dash that way. Yeah, it's a great program. Just so you know, I use Company Cam for photo sharing. Love it. Company Cam. They don't pay me. They should get a commercial on TotalScape Radio. We should all reach out to them and say, "Are you on TotalScape Radio?" So Company Cam, I love that. Then I wish there was. I mean, you really could use the photo sharing in Suite Dash also. You can, but it's easier with Company Cam. I just use it. I use Trello for my design process so that I work with her only. No one else needs to know, but just between my designer and me. I use Suite Dash for the client portal, and then I use QuickBooks for my accounting software. And then, is there anything else that I use? I think that's it. Is there anything else that I use, Adam?
Your subs, they're putting photos in Company Cam too.
They certainly are.
So you're seeing where they're at with the progress every day. Is that right?
All the time. I'll open up a Company Cam since I'm sitting here right now. Looking at these are all here. Looking, it's really cool. Company Cam is just really cool. It's free. By the way, Company Cam is free for the first 50 projects that you do. You just can't do videos. You can't take videos, but you can take photos, and you can share them with your clients for free, and you can add collaborators for free, up to 50 clients at a time. And anything after that, you have to pay. But what I used to do before I really wanted to use a video, I would just when a client was done, I would just delete it, and that was my way of cheating. But the guys are out taking pictures. They're taking pictures, and they're uploading them as you go. The guys we're building a fireplace wall. It's pretty sick what we're doing over there. This is inside a house, but they take pictures, and if they have questions, you can write on. They can actually take a picture, then they can write on and say, Darren, what am I doing here? And then I can answer the question from.
Darren, can we wrap up with maybe a couple photos that you could share on the screen here from your computer of just maybe a project or two that you've done? Or do you not have anything
I don't know if
too handy?
I don't know if I have anything on this computer right here. Hang on a second. Let me see if I have. Let me just look and I might have something I can show.
But guys and gals that are on here, the projects that Darren's doing, they're just amazing. These actually they're small, but the small outdoor spaces that he's creating inside these backyards between new pools, waterfalls, sod and palm trees and retaining walls, kitchens, things like that. It's really special projects.
I don't have anything on this computer. I thought I have two Macs. I'm on the wrong computer. I don't have, it's on my other, I keep all my photos on that other computer. But you're welcome to visit my website. I do stuff. I'll take pictures and we'll I can't post them. I'll have Russ post them.
Okay.
But yeah.
One more question. What if there aren't any quality subs around you? We are in a small area. There are not any companies that do pavers, walls correctly besides us, unless they are 40 plus miles away.
Wow. So that's cool. That's a good problem to have, right? There's nobody else around you, right? You almost get all the jobs. So, you just need to hire some people. That's a good question. Where's Chris live? Where's Chris live? What town is that?
I'm not sure.
Where's that? Where do you live, Chris? I'm curious. Central City. Where's that?
Central City.
And
I don't know where that is.
Oh, Kentucky. Oh,
Kentucky,
Kentucky.
okay.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we got you.
Okay. I was trying to get unmuted. So
Okay.
we're in Central City, Kentucky. The whole county that I live in is 37,000 people. There's a few other companies, but we're by far the biggest company in 20, 30 miles square area. And nobody else does. I'm not bragging on us, but nobody else does it correctly. So
Well, I think that's great, but first of all, Chris, how old are you, if you don't mind telling me?
47.
Okay, good. So you're not too far behind me. Okay. So I want you to think of this. I want you at 57, do you want to be dealing with employees?
No.
Okay. All right. So look, that's a great. I'm glad. So we're going on the right path. Why don't you empower some of your guys to start their own little businesses? Why don't you empower them and teach them the inside, the in and the outs of that? Seriously. And you'll make more money doing less. And they'll love you for it. You're teaching you how to have your own business, all aspects of it.
I've actually thought about that. That's why I was asking the question, because my guys know what they're doing. It's just, yeah.
It's definitely a different angle to take, and it's
Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. When I moved out, listen, I had 39 guys that worked for me in Jersey. I had $1 million in overhead. And listen, 2007, I don't know if you guys remember, if you know that 47, we had that recession. Man, my trucks, I'm looking at these. I'm looking at 3 LS 190 sitting on my property. I had a Massey Ferguson. I had 4 trucks. I had all this equipment, my whole backyard. And every day I was just stare at it. No one was calling me. Couldn't get it to go anywhere. I had all this equipment. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? I had to reinvent myself. I built Kentucky Blue Lawn Consultants in 3 states, but you had to, what do? I said, I'm never doing that again. I'm not getting so far deep or everybody all of a sudden, because I have no control. So this might be a great opportunity. Guys that know what that know what they're doing. I would start empowering and say, look, and Adam did this with a guy, right? Didn't you just offer him profit sharing?
Yeah.
He can start his own business.
He's our new general manager.
Within your business. These guys are really, what they're doing is they really have their own business within your business. You're not out there doing the pavers anymore. They're doing it, right?
Mhm.
So let me ask you another question real quick while I've got you. Can you hear me?
I'm
Yes.
here. Yes, I can hear.
Okay. So all your subs, are they working under your company, kind of like your uniforms, your name, or they've got their own companies? You're just a GC.
That's it. Oh, not GC. I'm their designer. I'm
Right.
the client. So they do. And I tell people here, and that was a hurdle at first, by the way. That's a good question, because at the beginning, I didn't know how to express that, because a lot of people ask me, well, if you're just a GC, well, I'm not. My job is to work with you to make sure we get it done. I'm the designer. I'm going to make this work. And I tell this is what really got to my clients at the beginning. I saw it stuck. I have companies that work for me, not employees. Employees don't show up. Companies do. They're like, gotcha. And they do 95% of the work that they do for me. And they give me work. So that's that mindset. That's that business model that we've created.
Interesting. Thanks.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
All right, guys and gals, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Darren, people can reach you at.
Yeah, you can D Gruner at Turf Shop Radio. You can call me. You can write my phone number down. I'll say it. It's 561-284-9062. I can walk you through some more stuff. I do some consulting, we can talk about an hour a week. If you guys want to dig deeper, I can share a lot of the stuff with you. And Adam too, Adam's a good resource. Adam, you're a good resource for peer groups, having these conversations. But this is it's an interesting business model. I remember, I didn't know how it was going to work when I started it. I was lucky that I had some funds that I was able to start doing it without, just because when I moved down here, I sold my other business. It works. And I'll tell you what, the clients need people like you, like this. They need you to do everything. They need someone that they can turn to.
Darren, I think we should throw it out there as maybe a possibility sometime summer or fall. It'd be awesome just to get a group of us to come down to spend a day with you.
Yeah, I'm open. I have a place in Fort Lauderdale. I got a place in near Parkland. You guys heard of Parkland, near Boca Raton, Florida. You guys, let's come down. If you guys are interested and want to come down and do like a little retreat or something, I'd love to do that. We'd have that conversation. Love to meet you guys. I do want to say this. I want to make sure that you guys know I'm also part of the steering committee for Project Evergreen. If you ever heard of Project Evergreen, giving back is so good. I get jobs by when I tell people, the more you tell people that you're giving, think about the nature, that the culture that you want to portray with your clients. I work with Project Evergreen. We go and we go to pocket parks all over the country, and we bring landscapers together. We do landscaping for people that can't do it in those cities. They don't have the resources. So we do pavers and we do landscaping and we build pavilions. If you want to be part of that, it's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of great people. If you want to get involved with that, ask me too. I'd love to get you involved. Maybe we can get you into one of the cities near you. But that's a good thing to tell your clients that you're doing. It's so easy for us because we love doing this. It's so easy to give back this way rather than handing out coats in the winter or doing work in soup kitchens. This is something we know and love to do. So it's easy. All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you guys very much.
Thanks, guys. That was great.
Take care. Have a good day.
All right. Take care, guys. See you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.